This single frame is a rare first-person perspective, as though the audience was within Veronica's place. Her hands are outstretched before the track as the bustling train comes nearer. The Kuleshov effect has been utilized between a shot of Veronica's face, the train, and now this descent, to suggest that she has thrown herself off of the bridge. Although the sight is shown to be within her imagination, at the moment the audience is unaware. The camera work necessary for such a shot at that day and age was highly unique, and doubtlessly difficult. This brief shot illustrates much of the melodrama of the entire scene. Veronica is center frame, and the camera appears to effortlessly keep up with her manic motions. Examination shows that the shot is most likely interlaced with the passing shot of a fence, and that even her running here might actually be an illusion. Still, the scene as a whole is one of a handful from the movie with music and exogenic sound, and in these shots it fits perfectly.
Смотри за ним! Отвечай тут, салат! Рассынула рот, дура!
Ты чей?
Мамкин.
Откуда?
Из Ворошиловграда.
А сколько тебе лет?
3 месяца и 3 года.
Как тебя зовут?
Борька.
Как?
Борька.
Arguably the most melodramatic and fast-paced scene of the entire film, Veronica has been indirectly scorned by the words of Fyodor Boris's father, who was speaking on infidelity with a wounded Soviet soldier. We are given a diagonal shot of Veronica's face, conveying both sorrow and sternness. The angle of the frame allows for the sight of the leafless trees in the cold Russian winter, symbolizing death. Her pace quickens and she storms forth. She looks almost as though she is brushing past the dead branches themselves, and she eventually finds herself alongside a train, meeting, if not exceeding, its speed. The camera manages to keep up with the chaos, shaking as it follows her from the side, or gazes up at her from below, or watches her feet stampede at the ground level. The audience loses track of what is real and what is imagined as the camera plummets toward the ground, symbolizes Veronica's would-be jump. The plume of black smoke blows against her in reality, and it is shown to be indeed just her imagination as the train passes. She did not jump. She runs to save the little boy and discovers that his name is Boris. In this realization, she embraces him firmly. Caring for the orphan becomes the new justification for Veronica's life, one Boris for a time, in a way substituting for the other.
His face stares with horror, the horror of war, of death, and of loss. His hair is matted with sweat, and he is still clad in his uniform, and in this way it is almost symbolic. expressing thoughts that may be on his mind without actually needing to. Why has he not met Veronica at the trains? Why is he still clad, in this imagining, and dirty? There is no joy on his face here. Perhaps, Boris wonders, in this moment, if Veronica was even still living. A shot from the beginning of the movie is repeated here, as well as the image of the staircase. This is the last time Boris will ever ascend these stairs, and it is all in his imagination. He will never return to Veronica, The only real battlefield scene from the film, Boris finds himself assigned to a patrol with the musician who he had earlier fought with. The framing of the scene here follows Boris from outside his perspective, giving him a final element of character development. Although cursing his misfortune at being coupled with the man, he is not resentful enough to abandon him and leave him to his fate. The scene is rich with symbolism. A German helmet with a single bullet hole sunken into the mud gives an ominous warning of what is to come. The branches of the tree seem to practically brush against the camera lens, and one feels as though the limbs might reach out and touch them. "We'll dance at your wedding yet," Boris says to the musician, obviously with thoughts of his own wedding, before a gunshot rings out and pierces his flesh in an unknown spot. He begins to topple over like a felled tree, his constricted pupils staring up at the ethereal sky. The world begins to spin, and his mind's eye is interlaced with reality and fantasy in a nigh hypnotic motion. Trees overlap with the sight of him running up the stairs, still clad in dirty uniform and matted hair, up the staircase and returning to Veronica. Immediately, a shift occurs again, and we see Veronica and him as husband and wife, along with shots of his family. One can easily miss the fact that the musician, too, is amongst the crowd, still in his dirty uniform and matted with grime. Even now, Boris shows no hatred towards the man. He collapses to the ground, his comrades finally coming to his aid, and the scene ends with his last breath.